Hi everyone, Jerry Bellini here. Welcome to the Little House. Today we are coming to you from Pennsylvania. Yes, I came home for the week. It is birthday week and it's also the baby shower on Sunday. So yeah, I came home last Sunday and I'll be here until after the baby shower. So I had to reset up my little video area because I took most of it to the beach. So hopefully you can see me okay. I'm using Brian's light. So anyway, all that aside, today we are going to be making a book. Yeah, different than what we normally do. We're normally sewing. And I did do a flip through of this book in my Stitch and Story Time. That was really just story time this week. And I showed you the inside of the book, and I was explaining to you that I have always had a birthday ritual, and yeah, you'll go back and listen to that if you're interested in the story behind all this. But this year I decided part of my birthday ritual was going to be making one of these books. And these are themed books if you so desire to have them be themed. Mine is flowers. And the one I'm going to be creating with you today and over the next few days is a themed birthday / getting older book. And I'll explain that to you as we go along, what I'm talking about. But I did want to tell you that this book was inspired by a video I saw back in 2017 from Lori Marie Jenkins, and I will put the link, of course, in the mention section in below the box. And when we saw, because I was involved with a group of people, women at the time, when we saw the video that she put out, we decided to kind of get together and create a book too. So that's what we did, and that's when I created this. And it was so much fun. I always wanted to make another one and just never did. So it is made from flashcards. Mine is made from flashcards. You can use all sorts of things. You don't have to use flashcards. You can use playing cards, and I have some playing cards here that I'm going to be using these playing cards today, and they are just about the same size as this. These are large playing cards. So this book is about, I should have measured it, sorry. It's 5 inches by a little over 3 inches. So it's 5 by 3. You can make them any size. So you can use playing cards, small playing cards, mini playing cards. You can use, if you don't have that, you can use index cards, cardboard, cereal boxes. You can use anything. It has to have a little bit of strength to it, so not paper. And not too thick either, because we're actually going to be building up layers on these cards, and that's why mine are so sturdy. This is a flashcard with a couple of layers of collage paper, paint, and then some pictures. So I think that's it. Let's talk about themes first. And I just did a little brainstorming and jotted down like a whole bunch of themes just to get you jump started. So you can do, I'm just going to read them off: flowers, birthdays, old people, family, houses, summer, winter, fall, spring, gardens, nature, a particular hobby, music, color, textures, books, clothes / style, quotes, abstract, movies you love, eyeglasses, shapes, dogs, cats, birds, butterflies, bugs, faces, bodies, hairstyles, boats, eyes, noses, twins, children, family, farms, barns, farm animals, zoo animals, wild animals, sewing notions, knitting yarns, sun, moon, stars, trees, hearts, fish, babies, a holiday, a favorite book. It's a lot of ideas. You could also choose a word or a quote and then collect things that go with the quote, for example. Or If you want to choose one single word, it could be happy, sad, focus, wander, faith, beauty, love, create, you are beautiful, you are loved. Something like that. So I think I've given you a ton of ideas. Pick one, find your own, and I can't wait to see what you're going to come up with. So the supplies that we need, I think I'll put them down in the description box because there's kind of a lot of them. And it's mostly, if you're a mixed media artist, you're going to have everything. So we need flashcards, index cards, playing cards, something stiff. We need some paper to cover the flashcards. You can use magazine paper pages, you can use collage paper, and you can use any other kind of paper that you can find or think of. Tissue paper, whatever. You're going to need images to go with your theme. So some of the things in my book are images cut out of a magazine, and some of them I actually drew. So it's a combination of both. But, you know, rifle through some magazines and see what you can come up with. So find your theme, rifle through some magazines, and collect your ideas. All right, now you're going to also need some words to go with your theme if you want to put words. You don't have to put words, you can just have the pictures. But if you want a little reminder of something, live, laugh, love, you know, etc., you can write your words with a pen, or you can print them out on your computer, or, you know, the Michael's stores and hobby stores, they have packages full of words. So that's something that you might want to have. So I would collect everything before you sit down to do this. You're going to need some glue. I did use a wet glue. I used tacky glue. I watered it down a little bit to put my papers on. But you could try using a glue stick if that's too messy for you, because it was quite messy, and see what happens. You're going to possibly need paint pens, or like a marker, like a Sharpie marker, if you want to draw it. So I doodled around some of the things in here, and you see I just doodled. So some kind of a marker, if you want to do that. If you don't worry about it. You can write words with the marker too. So you can also collect words from a magazine. Yeah, so that's what I did in some cases. I just found some words from a magazine. Of course, I don't have any in here, but that's what I did for this book that we're going to make today. Acrylic paints, stamp pad for the edges if you want to edge it with a color. And also what I did, if you notice, because mine's black and white, the theme, right? So I created the pages, and then I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Let's see if we can find a page that you can really see it. Yeah, let's look at this one. So what I did is I gessoed. So way under here is like book text, okay? That's what I used, book text. And then I painted with gesso, and then I did some stenciling. So that's an option. So you're going to create little works of art, let's just say, on your cards. I'm going to just show you my cards for a second. So these are the cards that I prepared ahead of time. And I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but that's what I'm talking about. So now that you prepared the cards, you can leave them as is and put your images on, or you can put some paint on top of that. It's totally up to you. How much fun do you want to have with this project, if you think that's fun? So obviously you're going to need a paintbrush for your glue and a paintbrush for paint if you decide to paint, or a sponge or something like that. Optional, stickers, washi tape, stencils, charms. And you are going to need some kind of thread to bind your book. And that's last. Okay, so I know it probably sounds like a lot, but I'm sure if you are a mixed media artist, you already have all this stuff. Get a little box. This is what I do. I get a little box. I put everything in there, and then I start my project. I get everything ready. I do have, which you didn't mention, I do have a wet rag. I always have a wet rag when I'm working with glue because it gets all over my hands and gets all over my surface. And you see, I am using a Teflon surface under here. It's just handy. So, all right, we are ready to get started. So you might be wondering how many pages are in my book. So I decided to put 18 pages in this book that I'm making now with you because my birthday is August 18th. So I just picked that. The first thing we're going to do, and you can put 4 pages in your book, you can put 100 pages in your book, whatever you want to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is just sand. If it's shiny, just give it a quick sand. Don't make yourself crazy. You're just trying to get that slippery stuff off so that the glue adheres a little better. And it is kind of messy, so do it over a garbage pail or do it outside. I'm just doing it on camera so you can see what I'm doing. And I just have like a rough sandpaper. That's it. And then I'm going to take my rag, my damp rag or a paper towel or something and just wipe off all that loose whatever. That's it. Now it's a little damp. I'm just going to set it aside and let it dry. And yeah, this was from yesterday. This mess. I usually wipe that up. So, all right. Now, after that's dry and you're ready to go, you're just going to grab some collage paper. And I'm going to do a page with you. Anything. So if you have some jelly prints, whatever. I was thinking that I would create something. All right, this is going to sound a little weird. I want mine to be a little on the brown, gray, old, vintage side because I'm doing a book about birthdays and getting old. So it's not going to be a sad book, so forget about that. Don't think that way. But I decided to use my my crunkled up brown papers and some book text and yada yada. That's what I'm using. And you can use bright colored collage paper. You can use magazine images or magazine papers. We're not ready for the images yet. We're just going to get some stuff down on here. So that's what I did. I just took my brush, took my paintbrush, I put a little glue in a container, and this, I just left this out from last night, so it's kind of gooky. And I have some water here. And I just watered down the paint a little bit, or the glue a little bit. Just slop it on there. And then lay your text down. And just try to cover the edges. Oops. Oops. Okay, I just need a little more up here at the top. Okay, and go over the edges. Don't, that's what I did with mine. I went over the edges. And then I rip it back because I like the way that looks. You might not like that though. You might want to make it even, then you can cut them straight and have them nice and straight if that's your thing. You know me, you do whatever you want to do. I just want you to do something. And I have to tell you that this project, it just makes my heart sing because I used to make books, a lot of books. I loved making books. So this is a fun thing for me to do. Okay, so you see it's nice, it's gooey, it's wet, and you see how it hangs over the edge. So I just have a spot someplace on the side and I lay it down and let it dry. And once it's dry, and you're going to see it's going to start to get kind of funky. See how it's getting funky, curled. I let it dry. I do this side, and then then I trim off the edge. So I'm just going to set this aside. And like magic, here they are. Oh, it's damp. Okay, so as I said, I made 18 pages. And you see I went over the edges of the cards. Okay, and then I just ripped back some. I don't want it to be straight. I love this jagged look. I'm going to leave it like that. And I'll just show you what I did with some. See? I have a box or a bag. I have bags of collage paper. And I just grabbed vintagey looking stuff. So this one already had some paint on it. I'll probably go over it with a little bit of watered down gesso just to kind of take it back, the words where it has words, because I don't want them. Now this is funny. This piece was a note somebody wrote me when I had my bead store, and she made handmade paper, and so I found this in there. So there's her name. I'll probably try to keep that. But yeah, anything. So grocery lists put on here, whatever you want to put on here. You can see I mostly used paper bags and book text. So if you're making a sewing book, get some sewing patterns, the paper and the sewing patterns. If you're making like a book that's going to represent, you know, your slow stitching. And you can stitch in here too. You can stitch on things. You can stitch on these cards. I don't even know what this is, but it was in my bag full of collage stuff. It looks like paper towel that I did something to. I'm not really sure, but I said, that looks really fun. Wrinkles or tears maybe. Okay, so you see I did use a piece of collage paper with a little color on it. This is an old telephone book. This, I can't remember. If I think hard enough, I'll remember. It's something that I created. I think it's like paint. It's like a thick layer of paint. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to hold up. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but so what? And here you go. Okay, so there's 18 pages there. Rip off the edges. You know, if they hang over too much, or trim them with a paper cutter or a scissor, whatever you like. And then we'll move on to the next step. So I did put these underneath a, and you see there's an air bubble there. Who cares? I did put them underneath a heavy piece of something, something. But you see, they're not too bad. I'm ready to work on them. Just in case you want to use the glue stick, because I just tried that, because, you know, it isn't as messy. So you see, I just wanted to show you I'm using a purple glue stick so you can see just how much glue. And I went over the edges a little bit. And I think it will work just fine. Now, of course, where it's overlapping, I'll just put a little more. Just if you decide to use the glue stick, just make sure you use enough. Heavy hand. Yep. I did this side with the glue stick too. It looks perfectly fine. So we'll just see what happens. All right, this isn't totally dry. This is the glue stick. I think it's going to be fine. I just wanted to show you how it's over the edges of the card. So then the next thing you do after it's all dry is you start to rip some of this back. I mean, you could leave it if you wanted to, but you do need one edge has to be fairly straight for when you bind, when you do the binding. So you see it's kind of rough, it has rough edges, but not too much. Not like Crazy Town like that. Okay, so then just kind of do that, and that's it. Let's move on. So now I'm going to put a little gesso here in this cup. Now you can do it with some wet gesso, or you can do it with a dry brush too. The dry brush gives you a certain effect too. So I'm just going to keep a paper towel handy because I don't want a lot. I don't want to cover up everything. So try a wet and then try dry and see what you prefer, so that I can still see the card down there, so I want to cover that up. And then if you have a paper towel, it could be damp or a baby wipe, and you can wipe some of it back. So that looks great to me. I want to be able to see it, but you know, I don't want to be able to read it. All right, and this really doesn't have anything on it, but I am going to put a little bit of on here. Okay, that's it. Set it aside. And I'll just do all these. And then I'll be back. So using the gesso or something, now this is, like I said, it's watered down and the brush is kind of dry. It brings the two pieces together. So the book text and the brown paper bag, it kind of makes them be a little bit more unified, I think is the word I'm looking for. See how it goes from being your eye goes to that to now it's just the whole thing. And this one, of course, I just like to kind of go over that. Just giving it added texture and dimension. Dries really fast too. So I know a lot of you are following me because of the sewing that I've been doing. So if you're not a mixed media artist, this is a perfect little project for you to start. And by putting this white gesso on something that has several different layers of something, you're blurring this line so that it's not so in your face. And you don't really notice the separation anymore. It just looks like one piece. I hope to do more book making things, mixed media things on my channel. I really enjoy it and I do miss it. I go in fits and spurts just like the rest of us. So I wanted to show you as an added layer on this, you can do some stenciling. And I just grabbed a few simple stencils and I have some ink pads here. And just get a little bit, I like dots, I like polka dots. So that's why I'm using these. And I mix it up. And in all likelihood, this is all going to be covered. But you never know, something might just peek out. And besides, it's super fun to do. Probably won't see that one at all. Nope, going to see that one at all. So I have some polka dots. I have some letters. That'll be fun to do. It's, nope. Yep, that's this one. And really, it's just background noise is all it is, just to give you some more interest on your pages. I did use the wrong one there. And you could spell out words and stuff with this, which I did on one of the pages. I wrote old. And I wanted to show you, since I'm talking about stencils, this, I hope you can see it. It is all these little circles, and I actually made these. I have a few of them in different shapes. So here's another one. This one's a little more organic looking, and then I did another one. In strips, and I made these with sheet protectors. These are sheet protectors, and I used one of those burning tools. And you can, I made a whole bunch more. They're in the warehouse, so I can't find them. But if you're interested, I could probably do a 10-minute technique on these. Just leave me a message in the comments below. And then one other stencil idea I wanted to share with you is these. I made these years ago, and this is done with hot glue, and they were fun too. So these can be used as stencils if you can get them thin enough, but they can also be used as embellishments on journals, on journal pages, on journal covers. And so this is what they look like before they're painted, and then I painted these. And I'll have a whole box of them. And they're so fun. So if you're interested in this, I did this back in 2014. It's way, way, way down. You could go look at that. And I could always redo the video if you feel like you're interested and take it to the next step. All right, here's one more I'll show you. This one's pretty cool. And see how interesting that would look on top of a book. And you could stitch in there. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take this to the beach with me. All right, so back to the stenciling. Just put a few stencils on your book pages if you want to. If you don't want to, just move on to the next step. And I like flowers. You can also use, if you don't have stamp pads and whatnot, you can also just use paint. Yep. So, all right. Let's move on. So before or after you do your stenciling, it doesn't really matter. It's after you do your painting. After you do the gesso on the pages, take a stamp pad, or if you don't have a stamp pad, you can use some paint. Just get a little acrylic paint and a brush and just do the edges. Just like that, real simple. Just keep it simple, don't worry about it. Well, I should say that. I should say if you like this kind of weird grungy look, it's not a big deal. If you like things neat and tidy, then maybe you just want to draw some lines around the outside edges. Okay, just like that. Now it looks like this stamp pad is falling apart. It's all over the table. So, yeah, these are pretty old. I've had these stamp pads for many years. There's plenty of ink left in them. So, I'm not 100% sure. I might like black. I'm not sure. Maybe if I put some black also. All right. Oh yeah, you know what? I like the black and the brown mixed. That's what I'm going to do, black and brown. And this stamp pad's on its way out too. I don't do a lot of stamping. Well, I haven't for many years. I do like it with the black and the brown. And don't forget to do the other side. It's all these little things that make the book really interesting. It kind of looks like it's burnt. The edges are burnt. Yep, I love it. Okay. Next. Okay, now I'm ready to start gluing some of these fun things into my book. And I went through a magazine. I don't really have very many magazines in the house, so I had a limited selection. But I kind of rooted around and found a couple of things to get started anyway. And this was the first thing I found. And the name, this is Sally Field. You probably all know her. And she was in a movie, Hello, My Name is Doris. I have a little information about it right here that was with the picture of her. So I saw this movie and I thought it was so great. And look at her, she's all old. And I just love it. But she's so funky, and that's like, I love that. That's me. I like to, put stuff in my hair and look wild and stuff. The only thing is she has brown hair and I have gray. But, she's all wrinkly, and I love it. I just love it. So I want to figure out how to fit this into my book because my pages are a little small. So I'll figure it out. I'll cut something off. But I love that hand up, that hand up in the air. And then I thought on the other side of the page, I would put this. This was a little story about, it's part of the story about the movie she was in. So that was fun. My desk is such a mess. I forgot how messy mixed media was, but it's fun. So let me just show you some of the things that I found to put in my book. I found this. I thought this was great. Well, I love purple because the beach. And she looks older. And she looks like she's putting a spell on her husband, who is a carpenter, which my husband's a carpenter. So I thought this was great. Of course, I can't put it all on one page, but I'll figure it out. And I love candy. So I don't eat it very often, but I love it. And I just love this pink flower. I don't know. And then I found some little interesting things. We want to go there. So it's just a picture of a road. It's an empty road going where? I don't know. There's somebody walking on it. So I picture that's me walking down this road going to places unknown, exciting places. And then this made me think of me and Brian. So I thought I'd put that on there. And sights to see. And look at this old computer. That's right. So it just made me giggle and stay positive vibes. This came out of an old book, Domestic Hints, Dreamy Delicacies. So I just liked it. Story of the month and health hints was on this side. Because, when you get older, you start thinking about that. What to do in August. It's my birthday. So there you go. What to do in August. And here's it's cut off. The quotation of the month. It's cut off. But I love this, magnifying glasses, because I can't see anymore. So that's good. Health hints. Love blooms. So we can still have love as we get older. We can still do that. Whether it's a partner or a friend or family, you still have love. So here's another closer look with a magnifier. So I found a couple of those. I love glasses. Amazing Grace. Thank you for that. And here's another page. I put a little flower there. Let's see what else here. Hearts on Fire. And I grew up in New York. I was born in New York, so I saw that. I thought that was cool. So you get the picture, right? Fashion, Give the Gift of Grace, and Philosophy. I like both those. I like that is one separate thing, and this is another one. So these little pieces, there are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. And Hello Beautiful. This and Find Joy in Your Art. This is a zine that I made many years ago, and I have it here. I should put it in my Etsy shop. I think it would be a hoot, right? Dare to be yourself. So I draw these scribble people, and they always have something to say. I'm going to get them out one day and do a little show and tell for you. The flower that blooms, did I say that? The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. And that is by Emerson. I can't read it. The Emperor. The Emperor. I can't see. I need wait, let me get my glasses on. Let me get my magnifier out and read that. Anyway. I love this. I went to therapy for many years. I guess I was in my 40s. I was struggling with some things from when I was growing up. Anyway, my therapist used to say all the time, you already know something you don't even know that you know. I love that. I love that. Make today amazing. Yeah, I just love it. Okay, so I'm going to put some of the, I ripped apart one of my zines. And I love glasses. I don't know, I found this. It's only part of a pair of glasses, but maybe I can just put part of it in there. I don't know. So I'm going to start gluing these down. And I'm going to use a glue stick, I think. And if it doesn't stick with the glue stick, then I will go over to, hold on. It's really gotten hot here today, and I could feel a choke coming on. I'm not worried about covering this stuff up. You see what I'm saying? I'm perfectly fine with that. I just decorated the pages just for fun. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start gluing this on, and I'm going to use a glue stick. If I feel like the glue stick isn't doing it, then I will switch over to my wet glue. All right, so I'm not going to be able to do all these pages and get this video up for you. So I just wanted to show you I did a couple. So there's Sally Fields, Hello, My Name is Doris. I'm going to watch that movie tonight. And there's the story about it on the back. And I'll probably, put something over here maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it the way it is. I don't know. And there, I just put that on there. And that. And I did glue this down. And I used both the glue stick and the wet glue. And they both work perfectly fine. So whatever you feel like using, just use. And then I have little arrows there because I put it here. So I don't know, maybe she's not putting a spell on them, but it looks like she is. Yeah. And that could be me, right? With my head bands and all that crazy stuff. So yeah, that one was cute. And I'll write some stuff on there too. And that's it. I just did those four. I am going to keep working on it, and I started to use a brown micron pen and then felt like it needed a little black too, so I did use some black. All right, just remember to keep moving, just play, no rules, and remember to find something to be grateful for. And you know what? I wanted to show you one more thing. I'm always grateful for you, you know that. I treated myself as for a birthday gift to this little box of haiku that I told you about on Tuesday. And these are the little words that I was telling you about. And these and I forgot they were magnets. So these are magnets, and so you can put them on your refrigerator, you can put them on a file cabinet, and just kind of move them around and do a haiku. I have one of those magnet boards used for cross stitch to hold a pattern, and I'm going to put mine on there, and that's at the beach. So I'm going to do that when I get down to the beach. But I'm just tickled to death that I got this. And 1 second, I'm just reaching for my haiku book in case you didn't watch that video. Here's my haiku book. So I'm going to be doing some more haikus, and I think this is the simplest way to do it. And I'm all about simple. So I don't think there was anything else I wanted to say. So I'll say goodbye for now, and I'm going to keep working on my book. And yeah. Oh, I have one more thing to tell you. I did get a webcam. So Brian bought it for me for my birthday. It came last night, and I plan on doing a live. I don't know when, how, what, who, whatever. But it will be very impromptu the first time I do it. So if you are interested, maybe you want to click on that bell on my channel, and you'll get notified of, when I put a new video up, but you'll get notified when I go live, and that might be good fun. So I'm always doing something. I love to learn. All right, guys. Kisses. Bye for now.